Well, I have one more author to share with you today. And as I promised, this is a two-time #1 best-selling author. I'm going to welcome to the stage Rachel Nachmias. Hello. So Rachel and I have worked together for about 1.5 years. In that time, she has published 2 books, one about a year ago and one today. So today's book is called The Curated Wardrobe, a Stylist's Secrets to Going Beyond the Basic Capsule Wardrobe to Effortless Personal Style. Now, listen to me. If you are still there and you think effortless personal style is easy for Angela, and I'm sure it's easy for Rachel, but it's never going to happen for me, unblock your ears, open up a little here, because Rachel has some secrets, some magic that she has brought in this book. I want her to tell you about it, and keep an open mind, because effortless personal style can be possible for you, as I have learned from Rachel over the last 18 months. So tell us about your book.
So I wrote this book for the smart woman who wants to develop a personal style, but often we smart women kind of go about it in this really analytical way, and we get it all right on paper. We get all those capsule wardrobe plans in our Pinterest board, and yet we still don't feel comfortable, confident, and at ease in our clothes. So I wrote this book to really show those women the way.
I love it. So if you are somebody who has struggled with style, you are going to love this. What I think is interesting about this book, just as you're thinking about how to make 2018 magnificent with your message, in 12 months, you could write 2 books. And I want Rachel to sort of reflect on your first book, The Face of the Business, your second book, The Curated Wardrobe. What did you learn from writing your first book that you applied to the second one that's maybe some advice you can give people if you had to do it all over again? What did you apply with the second book?
Yeah, I think what I really learned from the first book was that, and I hope other authors will do this on their first book, was to just drop all the ego about what you want to be in the book and think about what your ideal reader needs to read. And I feel in the second book I was able to do that, and it actually made writing the book so much faster and easier.
I love that. And you, I know that you guys out there are thinking, as soon as my schedule clears, I'm going to start working on my book. So second book, super easy for you. You had nothing on your plate. I assume you just went to a cabin in Maine and wrote. Yeah. Tell us about what you did while you wrote your book.
So in the 9 weeks that I wrote my book, I got married, I bought a house, I moved into that house, and this is a sad one, but my dog died.
Oh, no, I hated that part.
Didn't like that part.
All in 9 weeks and wrote a book. This is the magic. And when we say like we're writing books in 9 weeks, like how long have you been a stylist? 10 years?
I've actually been a stylist for a little more than 4 years. Before that, I was a fashion and costume designer.
Right, designer, but you've been in and around this. So when you're writing it in 9 weeks, you weren't doing all the research, learning everything about a curated wardrobe and writing it. So when we're saying write it in 9 weeks, even with a marriage, a move, house buying, a loss in the family, like even with all that, we're not saying that you can do that if you have no expertise. The trick is you were just writing it, but it was sort of 9 weeks plus 10 years of experience, right?
Totally. I mean, this is really everything that you already know. There's nothing that you need to know to put into your book that you don't already know.
Yeah, and it's really tapping into that.
Absolutely.
Okay, we have a couple more questions and we have a couple more minutes. So I'm going to take a couple more. The first one, I'm going to take the one we just got. So somebody says, I feel called to the program, meaning I think to working with the author incubator, but the cost is holding me up. So finances, often a fear also with a stylist. Like, I really want Rachel to dress me, but I'm like afraid to spend money on it. So what do you tell to your clients, or how did you kind of deal with making the investment and working here?
Yeah, so I think that thought is exactly what's keeping you from figuring out how you would pay for something like that. And also keeping people who maybe would want to invest with you from doing that, because you're putting out there that, you know, making an investment in myself isn't worth it. So why would somebody else want to invest in themselves with you? So I think the first thing is just to do it. And the second thing is, if you do it with the absolute intention that you're going to make back your investment before you finish your book, that's possible. I did it with my first book.
I was just going to say, how did that work out for you? So we've worked together. You've done 2 books. Do you feel like you've gotten a good return on your investment?
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely made many times what I invested in this process over the last 18 months. And I also learned the skills to make money whenever I need to, so that I can invest in whatever I want going forward.
Don't you love that sentence? I can invest in whatever I want.
Yeah.
That makes me want to go shopping with you right now. Can we go to Neiman Marcus?
Yes, Chanel now.
Okay, I love that answer. She knows all the right things to say to me. All right, one more question, and let's see. I feel like you should know the answer to this one. This question is, how did you know that you were done with the book? Either one.
That's really interesting. So the part of the process is just to write forward. And there is a time when you go back and edit the book. But the long story short is, you know you're finished with the book when you've taken your ideal reader from where she was to where you want her to be, where you know she needs to go.
That was good. I feel like you paid attention. I'm glad I asked you that one. She gets an A. All right, I'm going to show you Rachel's book. It's going to make you want to buy it. Look, give it to your sister or your best friend too. It is the Curated Wardrobe, a stylist's secrets to going beyond the basic capsule wardrobe to effortless personal style. Rachel's first book, The Face of the Business, is in bookstores or will be soon. When does that hit bookstore shelves?
That one should hit bookstores in February, so very soon.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I have some copies. So if you track me down,
how can they track you down?
It's Rachel. That's Rachel, just like on the cover of my book, at bestdressed.us. That is best dressed as in the best dressed list.us or .us. Rachel at bestdressed.us. Just shoot me an email and say, hey, can I get a copy of the book?
Like an actual paper copy.
Yeah, they could get a paper copy
2 months before it hits bookstore shelves.
Before it hits bookstores.
That's steaming hot off the shelves. I didn't know I was going to ask you to do that, but I'm so glad you offered. I didn't know you had copies.
It's my pleasure.
Get a copy of that book from Rachel. And here's what I want you to know. A year from today, you could have 2 best-selling books. You could have tens of thousands of dollars in new business. You could have books going into bookstores in 2 months. You could move into a new, bigger house. That happened too. There are so many ways your life could change in 12 months. And not only that, the lives of your clients that you haven't even met yet, the lives of how many, do you even know this number? How many people's lives do you think that you've touched this year?
So it's really interesting, but I have touched the lives of 35 women. And if that sounds like a small number, it is. The year before, I had to work with over 300 women, and I didn't make as much of a difference in their lives. And I made more money this year, if that's the concern. So
I love that. Possible. So powerful. Thousands of people have read her book. 35 people go deep and really transform their lives. What if you knew at the end of next year that you had dramatically transformed 35 people's lives? How incredible is that gift that you would give, and the effect that it has on their family, their friends, the inspiration that you will bring into the world. So that is my wish for you for 2018. Be inspired by these 11 authors. Be inspired by what is possible, how you can make the world more magnificent with your message. That's what we are all about, what all of these authors wanted to share with you today. Because here at the Author Incubator, before I say my last line, if you want to do this, head over to theauthorincubator.com/apply and you can learn all about working with us. It's the process that each of these authors you met today went through. We would love to hear more about you and your books. If you are looking for any of the authors here, you want to get in touch with them and learn more about working with them, check your email because we will be emailing you and we can put you in touch with any of these authors. We are always delighted to do that. And our mission here at the Author Incubator is to change the world one book at a time. Bye, everyone.